Hi guys, so welcome to another video of Leadership for Students. This week we're going to be doing an upcycled cereal box or soda box pencil case. And so what upcycled means is kind of like repurposing something to make it into something a little bit better. And so, usually we throw away soda boxes or old cereal boxes. So this is a pretty cool way to, repurpose those items. And so yeah, I hope that you guys like this project. It should be fairly simple. I'm gonna get into the materials and more into the description of this item in a sec. So yeah, join me. Alright, so the materials that you guys are gonna need for the following project are gonna be either a cereal box or empty soda box, which I'm using one of these soda box. You're also gonna need a pencil, a ruler, some scissors, clear tape. It's cool if it's the regular clear tape or double-sided works as well. And then you're gonna use either the Velcro circles or the Velcro squares, whichever ones you can find. And yeah, so those are the following materials that you're gonna need, and I will show them all to you one more time so that you know. So I have the box, the ruler, the Velcro strips, the tape, pencil, and scissors. Alright guys, so in a bit I'm gonna start going over the steps on how to create this cereal box pencil case. One of the first steps is gonna be creating the outline, and so we're gonna create it ourselves because there is a template for it, but I would like for you guys all to be able to create it, even if you guys don't have a printer accessible. So we're gonna create the template pretty much ourselves. Alright guys, so the first step to this is actually going to be to flatten out the box as so, and actually we're also supposed to open the box at the seam, which should be fairly easy to find, and so that it's simple to rip open. There we go. So now we're going to have it laid out like this, and this is when I'm going to change the angle for the camera so you guys can see me drawing the outline. Alright you guys, so once you have your box open and laid out this way, you will create the outline. And so we're going to begin with creating a square, and so the square is going to be 8 inches tall by 6 inches wide. And so I will show you now how that's going to look. And I'm using the edge so that I can kind of align it so that this is going to be a straight line. 8, and so just try to make sure that you get a right angle so that this is a nice neat box, so that we don't end up with a lopsided pencil case. 6 inches and 8 right back up. And so I did say square earlier, but I did mean rectangle. What I meant was that you guys have to make sure that you get right angles. Alright, so now we have our basic outline. So again, this was 8 inches by 6 inches. Okay, and then our second step is going to be to measure 2.5 inches in, and we're going to mark a line about 2.5 inches in. Then we're also going to make a mark at the 3-inch mark and at the 5.5 mark. And so where we made those marks, we're going to go ahead and do a dotted line all the way to the top. And just to make sure that they are going to be in the right spots, you're going to mark the same spots at the top. 1/2 inch in here, 3 inches. So now you're going to just connect, well, not connect, you're going to do the dotted lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be dashed lines so that you know where we're going to fold. So as you can see, I am doing the dashed lines. Awesome. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there are dashes on there. Awesome. So after you do those dashes, you're going to measure about 1/2 inch up from the top over here. Okay, and then you're going to do another line on this side. Same, about 1/2 inch up. And so the line on this side is going to start at the 2.5 inch mark where we started the dotted line. You're going to do a dotted line across this way as well. Okay, then after doing the dotted line, you guys are going to go ahead and just loop it around so that this is going to be the flap for the top of your pencil box. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, like I said, it's just the flap that's going to go on the top of your pencil box. Alright, okay. And since we did finish the square, I do want to let you guys know this is going to be one of the dotted lines. So this right here should actually be a dotted or dashed line. Okay, cool. So the next step, we're going to measure from here, from the second dashed line, the long way, we're going to measure about a quarter inch in. So you're just going to mark where that quarter inch would be, and you're going to mark where this quarter inch would be. So once you have the 2 quarter inches marked, you're going to go ahead and, so let's see, you're going to do a little dip, and it just has to go about 1/2 inch in. So I'm just going to measure about 1/2 inch so I know how far down my loop has to go. So this is 1/2 inch in, and so you're kind of just going to connect this to loop it. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect. Alright, so once you connect those two to loop them, you will actually have to erase this part that we originally marked because we will not need it. You're going to cut along the line that you just created instead. And so for the next step, we're actually going to create the flap that goes over here. And in order to create that flap, we have to measure about 1/4 inch up and then 1/4 inch across. And you're going to do the same for the top corner. So you're going to do 1/4 inch up and 1/4 inch, my bad, dash line, sorry, and 1/4 inch across dash line. And that's just so you guys know where to make your dot. Okay, so once you've made those 2 dots, you are going to connect them because this is going to be one of the outer flaps of the pencil case. Once you connect the 2 dots, you can connect that edge to the other edge, so it will create the flap. And there we go. And so this first edge that we had created is actually going to be another edge that has a dashed line, because anything with a solid line we're going to cut around. Okay, so this is going to be another dashed line, and we got to do it so that we don't forget and accidentally cut it. And the very last part for this template is going to be the bottom flap. Alright, so I hope you guys can see where this flap is. Okay, so this is where it's going to be that 1/2 inch line and another 1/2 inch line outwards here at that 2.5 mark where the dotted line is. And so this is the part I was mentioning that we do not want to cut off, so we're going to make sure that this is a dotted line. And the following line is also a dotted line. And for this one, we don't have to do exact measurements, but kind of just do a little tab outwards, no more than 1/4 inch. And then you can go ahead and connect that one with a solid line, because this one we will cut, because this will be the edge flap for the bottom. Alright, and now the following steps are actually gonna be after cutting this out, so I will show you guys the template again once I cut it out. Alright guys, so before I actually cut it out, I wanted to show you guys what the template looked like at the end, in hopes that you guys have something similar. Alright guys, so now that you have the template cut out, you guys can go ahead and along those dotted lines, which we're calling score lines, you're gonna go ahead and kind of like press on them firmly so that you have like a crease, and so that it's easier to fold these. And so the way that you do that is you get the ruler, and so with a pencil or anything with like a nice edge, so for the pencil I'm just kind of like making sure the lead's not out, and so you just grab the pencil and the ruler and you keep making creases. So you go ahead and you do that, and so obviously not in the air like I'm doing it, but on the desk, and you should have creases after doing so. I am gonna do so with mine so that I can show you what it's gonna look like once it has those creases. Alright guys, so I found that what actually works best for me for these lines is actually a key. So I'm using the key to create these creases. So you see I'm lining up the ruler to where I have the dotted line, and I'm just following with the key, pressing hard along that line. And so once you do that, you will have a line in which your cardboard will fold. And so that is the fold. And so as you can see, I was already creasing these parts. And so you're just going to go ahead and do that for all of the dotted lines that we have. Awesome. Alright guys, so once you guys make all of the creases, you guys can go ahead and decide what side you want. And so I actually like the design of the box. So if you don't like the design of the box, you can always just use the brown side. And then you can just decorate it yourself. So I personally like how the blue side looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and make all the creases fold this way so that the blue is on the outside. So make sure the flaps here are folded, inward. Okay, so make sure that's folded inward, and make sure this flap is folded inward. Okay, so this flap is gonna look something like this. And then this flap is gonna look something like this as well, because you're also folding it inwards. And like I said, depending on what side you guys choose is what inwards is gonna mean for you. And so on these little flaps is where you guys are gonna use the tape. So these edges, so this edge is gonna have tape, and then this top part right here is gonna have tape. So you're gonna seal it from the top, and then after I do that, I will show you guys the next step. Alright guys, so once you tape the edges, the little flaps I mean, like I said, it's gonna start to look more like the pencil box that it is. And so you guys are almost at the end. So the last part is just gonna be to attach the Velcro, like I said, like I mentioned that you needed earlier. So you're gonna actually connect the two pieces so that once you connect the flap, it'll align. Just you'll see in a sec. All right. So I have the two Velcro dots. So you're gonna take the sticker part off of one, and you're gonna go ahead and stick it on the inside of the flap as far up as you can without it sticking out the edge. As far up and as far in the center as you can. Alright. And so as you can see, I have it attached, and now is when you take off the little paper part and you go ahead and you close, make sure this is flat, you go ahead and you close this flap. Go ahead and you close the flap, and so the adhesive will stick to perfect spot on the other side. And so on the other side, you're just gonna make sure you press the Velcro so that it stays in place. And so now you have your pencil case. Alright guys, so we have reached the end of yet another video for Leadership for Students. I really hope that you guys enjoyed learning how to make this pencil box out of an old box of sodas. And I actually found out that you can make 2 of these with one of those 12 packs of LaCroix, like I showed you the box. And so yeah, I mean, like, I think it looks really awesome. I didn't even like specifically choose what part of the box to use, but either way it came out like you could still tell what the box was. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, and I hope you guys make some out of your favorite sodas or your favorite cereals. Yeah, thanks for joining.